Hello everyone, we are Group 8 and this is our Gestalt project for Management 300. Our project required us to collectively bake at least 60 items. Our main objective was to have fun while also making a meaningful impact by donating all of our baked goods to a charity that supports hungry teens. This assignment required strong teamwork and coordination. Although our goal was to create over 60 items, we challenged ourselves even further by giving our team only 3 hours to bake, package, and clean. We also aimed to create a diverse selection of baked goods, knowing that everyone has different preferences. To be inclusive, we also made sure to include a vegan option as well.
Okay, so initially these were the roles assigned. We tried being really organized, so we assigned everyone specific roles. So Era was the team leader, Aaron was the communication coordinator, Michelle was the recipe tester slash taster, and Saravia was the recipe researcher, and Mark was the head baker. But once we started actually working together, we realized that these roles were kind of holding us back. They made us stick to one thing instead of helping each other out. So pretty quickly, we decided to loosen things up. And instead of having these roles, we started working more flexibly and jumped in when someone needed help. And honestly, I feel like it made things run much more smoother. Okay, the first big roadblock happened 5 days before the dessert delivery date when we suddenly learned that there were a bunch of requirements we were not aware of. And honestly, they were asking for a lot of things. They wanted a food worker card, which no one had, and a background check. They also wanted a volunteer agreement, and they also wanted a 1 year commitment of continuous donations. But anyway, to keep the project moving, I went ahead and completed those things for the team and negotiated that we only do this once and not for a full year. And after that, we were finally set to move on. And our second roadblock happened in the kitchen when Era and Mark realized that they have been using tablespoons instead of teaspoons, and that completely threw off the recipe, and yeah, they had to triple everything. And Era didn't have enough bananas, but luckily Distro Market was right next door, so she ran over and grabbed more. For our artifacts, we couldn't bring the actual desserts because they wouldn't be fresh, but we took plenty of pictures, so here are some of the treats we made, like Michelle's egg tarts, Saravia's brownies. There's also a photo of the church where we delivered everything. These photos are basically our artifacts and it shows the work we put into our project.
Okay, moving on to OB concepts and theories. We used stress and coping strategies from OB to help us manage the project. On the problem-focused coping side, we reduced stress by planning ahead, like scheduling the baking and delivery time. We also assigned roles before we did anything and adjusted recipes and tools when things didn't go right, like mentioned earlier. On the emotion-focused side, we handled our feelings by choosing an activity that was fun and meaningful. As you can see in the picture below, we all looked very happy. And when something happened, we supported each other and stayed positive. These strategies worked really well and everything went smoothly. I would say there was barely any stress. One thing we were surprised by was how important emotional coping was. We noticed that people's feeling really made a big impact on how they worked. Another OB concept we applied to this project was task interdependence. At first, we were in pool interdependence where everyone worked separately on their assigned dessert, and we really didn't work with each other. But then there was one member who had to leave for an hour, so we switched to comprehensive. We all jumped in to help finish their dessert, like finishing mixing and baking it, and we adapted to this change pretty fast. This ended up being really successful, and we were surprised by how naturally the team adjusted to the change. For leadership styles and behaviors, Era was the leader who kept us organized and made sure we stayed on track. She had legitimate power. Erin handled all the communication with United Way, who organized this event, and she used consultation influence by checking in with us and keeping everyone in the loop. And Mark led the baking process because he had the most experience, which gave him expert power. These different types of leadership and influence and power helped our group work smoothly. The application of this concept was successful as everyone was motivated, communication went well, and no one was pressured in any way throughout the whole project. One thing that surprised us was how naturally leadership shifted around depending on what we were doing. The different people stepped up at different times without anyone forcing them. Because of this, we noticed some other concepts like psychological safety where everyone felt comfortable asking questions and were very supportive of each other. And we also saw citizenship behavior where people helped each other even when it wasn't part of their assigned role. As you can see on the screen in the photos, we were all helping each other out. Overall, the way we applied these concepts and worked together made the project go very smoothly.
When it came to measuring our progress toward our goal, we focused on two key aspects, which were qualitative and quantitative. The qualitative aspect was ensuring an equal contribution from each member towards the activity, as our main goal was to collectively work as a team. To measure this, we used an anonymous ranking system through Google Forms, where members individually ranked the other members' contribution level from 1 to 5, where 5 indicates excellent and 1 indicated awful. Our goal was to have an average score of 4. This was done to track teamwork and collaboration. The other aspect was the quantitative aspect. Our goal as a group was to bake at least 60 goods, where each member contributed at least 10 goods. We wanted to deliver a tangible output showing teamwork and participation. We achieved both these targets very well. We achieved our qualitative targets by gaining an average score of 4.5, which was better than the initial goal we set. This indicates that the teamwork of the group was effective and shows that the members were satisfied with the overall performance of the group. We also achieved our quantitative target by baking more than 86 goods, where members contributed from 14 to 18 goods individually. We were able to do this through team engagement, where each member could make a meaningful contribution. Firstly, we had defined roles and responsibilities as we had active discussions beforehand going over what items each member was going to bake. We also had effective communication strategy. We made an Excel sheet in advance listing out what materials each member was going to bring. Lastly, all members were thoroughly committed to achieving our goals. Despite the challenges we encountered, our group was able to successfully meet our target as we had a sense of mutual responsibility. Each member was ready to support the others through the baking, cleaning, and packaging process. Because of this, we were able to deliver effective output on time.
We believe it helped us move from a theoretical side of organizational behavior into real life applications. While we were doing the activity, we didn't consciously think about which organizational behavior concepts we were using. But looking back, it is clear that many theories and ideas nurture and influence the way we worked, made decisions, and moved forward together as a group. One of the most important lessons we experienced was how leadership can shift depending on the situation. There is no single formula for effective leadership, as throughout the exercise, different people took leads in different parts of the project based on their power and influence. Another key experience came when I had to step away from the team. From our discussion afterward, it became clear that this has changed the team's structure and dynamics. Our original approach, which was based on pooled independence, no longer fit the new circumstances. Instead of trying to continue as before, the group adapted and shifted to a comprehensive interdependence, which allowed the project to move forward successfully. In conclusion, the activity helped us bond as a team and we did some good and also learn some practical application of the project and organizational behavior in general. The challenges we face push us to adjust our roles and strategies even without focusing on it and when applying the organizational behavior concepts. Overall, we gain a stronger appreciation for one another and saw firsthand how the right teamwork combined with internal motivation and positive stress can lead to great results. Thank you for your attention.